who is estimated to have killed more than 100 people. These were people he was ultimately supposed to protect. Niels Högel was born in Wilhelmshaven in Germany on December the 30th, 1976. He was born to his mother, who was a paralegal, and his father was a nurse, and he also had a younger sister. It's important to note that as well as Niles' father being a nurse, his grandmother was also a nurse. Niles said that he had a sheltered childhood and he was not exposed to violence at home. Niles had decided early on that he would follow in his father and grandmother's footsteps and become a nurse, and at the age of 21 he completed his vocational training. Niles trained at St. Wilhad Hospital, where he continued working after passing his training. Niles also married in 2004, and later that year he had a daughter. After 2 years working at St. Wilhad, Niles began working at the Oldenburg Clinic in mid-1999 and was stationed on Ward 211, which was the cardiac surgery intensive care unit. In August 2001, doctors and medical orderlies scheduled a meeting which Niles attended. In this meeting they discussed an unusual spike in both resuscitations and deaths during the preceding months. It was found out that 58% of these incidences had occurred whilst Niles was on duty. Immediately after the meeting, Niles called in sick for 3 weeks. During the time that Niles was on sick leave, only 2 patients had died, significantly fewer than prior to his sick leave. Shortly after the meeting and under pressure by a Ward 211 head physician, Niles had been transferred to the anaesthesiology ward in 2001. Soon after moving to the new ward, the ward's head physician became suspicious of how Niles was frequently present in emergency situations. In September 2002, Niles was confronted after multiple patients under his care had been found in life-threatening situations. It was suggested to Niles that he either resign his position at the clinic and continue to receive full wages for another 3 months, or he was to transfer to the clinic logistics department, where he would assist moving patients throughout the hospital. The next month, on the 10th of October 2002, Niles received a letter which was issued by the Oldenburg Clinic Director of Nursing. In the letter, she stated that he had a good work ethic and was very diligent at his job. In December 2002, Niles was transferred to the Delmenhorst Clinic, and he continued his ways for the next 3 years until it all came to a head on the day of the 22nd of June 2005. Niles was caught by a colleague intentionally manipulating a patient's syringe pump to improperly administer Adrenaline. Adrenaline is an alkaloid that is classified as a 1A antiarrhythmic agent and is often used to induce a rhythmic contraction in patients suspected of having Brugada syndrome. It later transpired that as well as Adrenaline, Niles had been using 4 other drugs, including sotalol, lidocaine, amiodarone, and calcium chloride. Overdoses of these drugs can lead to life-threatening cardiac arrhythmia and a drop in blood pressure, causing rapid physiological deterioration in already ill patients. The incident of being caught prompted Delmenhorst police to open an investigation into Niles. Multiple colleagues came forward to voice their suspicions suspicions against him began to arise. His superiors allegedly did not act on their suspicions, despite 4 empty vials of arginine surfacing in his ward. It was found out that no doctors had prescribed any such medication for any patient on the ward that day. At the time, Niels was arrested in 2005, and he was initially only charged for the murder of the 63-year-old patient with whom he'd given a lethal dose of adrenaline. The media attention encouraged further relatives to come forward. Niels went on trial in December 2006 at the German Regional Court, and he was sentenced to 5 years in prison and given an employment ban for equal length for attempted voluntary manslaughter. A joint plaintiff appealed the verdict, and a higher court subsequently reversed it. Niels was then given a 7.5-year prison sentence, as well as a lifelong employment ban. In September 2014, Niels was charged with 3 counts of murder and 2 counts of attempted murder. After confessing to the charges, Niels stated he had committed 30 additional murders. The patient deaths were caused by Niels administering 90 unauthorized injections, and of the 90 he administered, 60 patients were successfully resuscitated. Prosecutors claim Niels acted out of boredom and his desire to show off his resuscitation skills. On February the 28th, 2015, Niels was sentenced to life in prison. The sentence became final in March 2015 amidst mounting speculation that Niels may be responsible for further deaths. Police launched a major investigation. In October 2014, 200 suspicious deaths were identified, and a total of 134 bodies were exhumed and autopsied in Germany, Poland, and Turkey. During this 3-year investigation, more than 200 cases were re-evaluated, and the 134 bodies that were exhumed were distributed across 67 different cemeteries. In many cases, decomposition had progressed too far to be able to detect any traces of medication. Of 101 patients from Delmenois who died during his work period, they could not be autopsied as they had been cremated. In 2015, suspected victims were still being exhumed, and it did reveal traces of a hot medication in some. In November 2016, authorities said that they were now able to prove 37 homicides that were attributed to Niels in Delmenois between December 2002 and June 2005. As Niels had already been sentenced to life without eligibility for parole at the time, further cases would not alter his sentence, but would either find him innocent or guilty. Of further charges, capital punishment is constitutionally prohibited in Germany. In August 2017, police announced they had concluded that Niels was responsible for the deaths of at least 90 patients, including the 6 he had already been convicted of. Niels admitted to an undisclosed number of deaths, but in most cases was unable to remember specific details. So in January of 2018, the Oldenburg State Attorney's Office pressed charges against Niels, accusing him of murdering 100 patients between the 7th of February 2000 and the 24th of June 2005. The deceased were all aged between 34 and 96 years old. Niels' trial for these murders began on the 30th of October 2018. The court proceedings started in 2018 and spanned into 2019. Out of the 100 murder charges, Niels confessed imprisonment. He was found guilty